Greetings viewers. Today my trusty Orbea Gain faces what is probably the biggest and arguably most important challenge so far in the time I've had it. Namely that we find ourselves bang in the middle of Germany, bang in the middle of continental mainland Europe, as far from the sea as it's possible to find yourself. And what are we looking for? We're looking for fish and chips in the British style. Now, I'm led to believe that there is such a place and that it is reachable by bike. The small problem is it's at the top of quite a long, steep climb, and with my bad knee there is absolutely no way I'd be able to attempt that on a regular bike. So the gain is hopefully going to get me there. Let's see. So, if indeed I get to this place, and if indeed it does sell fish and chips in the British style, I will be comparing it to my benchmark standard fish and chips, and that is to be found at Gordon Ramsay's Plain Food restaurant in Terminal 5 at Heathrow Airport. And anytime I'm over in the UK when I'm coming back, I head in there and have some fish and chips. Keeps me going till the next time. So let's see how it stands up. I'm kind of doing the last easy bit before the climbing begins, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm hoping for the best but prepared for disappointment, because I mean it does seem a bit improbable. Fish and chips in the British style in the middle of continental Europe, and it's just not something the Germans do, fish and chips. Steak pies, there's another thing they don't do. Anytime I go to London in business, I swing by Marks and Spencer Simply Food on the way to the airport and get as many steak pies as I can into my hand baggage. And astonishingly, you can take them through security, no problem at all. Never gets picked up on the scanners, which is good news. So as I say, yeah, good luck trying to find a steak pie around here. In fact, good luck trying to find a pie of any description around here. Just seems to be something the Germans are not into. You want to get a bratwurst or a nice schnitzel? No problem. Restaurants every 10 metres selling these. But somewhere selling a pie? Nah, no chance. However, what you can get, perhaps surprisingly, is a good curry. Yeah, there are quite a few good curry places around this region. But that does present me with a bit of a problem from time to time, because I sometimes get easily diverted, and an all-day cycle can turn into a half-day cycle. In fact, that happened just the other day. I was cycling through Bensheim and went past an Indian restaurant, smelled the curry, and I thought, shall I have my energy bar now or a curry? Energy bar? Curry. Oh, I don't know, it's a difficult decision. Energy bar or curry? Curry. Well, it's my starter anyway. Well, I guess unsurprisingly the curry was the clear winner in that contest. And so, what was originally planned as a kind of a 6-hour cycling tour turned into more of a 3-hour cycling tour. I just went home after lunch. It was quite substantial. So how does that old expression go, there's no such thing as a free lunch? Well, that's true here, because now the gradient starts to get a little bit steeper, and yeah, I reckon I will have worked up quite the appetite by the time I get to the top of this climb, which will be in another 3 or 4 kilometres. And it's one of these ones that just seems to get steeper and steeper the further up you go. Scenic though. Part 1 complete, we've made it up to Step Back. Quite a cute little village. However, there's a left-hand turn coming up, and that's going to take me to one of the nasty steep little ramps around here. Oh, there's a festival going on of some kind. Maybe swing by here for a beer. On the way back, if I come back this way. But this is the first of two steep little ramps. And this is the kind of thing where, could I make it up here on a regular bike? Yeah, but my knee would have me out of action for about the following week. And that's where the Gain is a bit of a game changer for me. Like I say, it's a bit of a climb to get up to this restaurant. We've come up from the Rhine Valley way down there in the distance, up this valley here, which is a climb of an average 4 or 5%, with a couple of ramps, one of which is more than 10. And we're continuing up here where there are more steep ramps. Nasty double-digit ramp number 2. Thankfully just a short one, especially as there's a bit of a headwind, as you can probably hear on the mic. Double digits, only for about 50 metres. There we go. Here we are. I'm very pleased to say we're now on the finishing straight. These buildings you may be able to see up the hill there are just up the back of the restaurant. So there's only about half a kilometre to go. Steady 6-7% all the way up. Medium assist. Very nice. Now then, we're very nearly there. Here's the road that we've come up. You can see it twisting round to the left there. And it twists all the way down to the Rhine Valley in the distance. And where we're going is around this next corner. And that pink building you can see is right next to the restaurant, the Talblick. And I'm delighted to say we're very nearly there. Tell you what, after all this, if they don't have fish and chips on the menu today, it's going to be a bit disappointing. Okay, here we are at our destination, Zum Talblick. And I've got here a few minutes before opening time, because I'm hoping that by doing that, I'll be able to get my table of choice. Yeah, which is going to be this one, here in the corner, with the view. So, why stop at this particular restaurant, I hear you ask? Well, for a start, there's the view. There's also the weather, which for this time of year is not bad at all. And what about the food? I mean, it's a very traditional looking Odenwald restaurant. Okay, time to be on my way, I think. You saw how good that looked, and I can tell you it tasted as good as it looked. fantastic. I am a bit stuffed, however, but there's only a little bit more uphill, and then it's downhill all the way after that, almost, depending where I go. Right, that was fun, but it's time to be going. And I've got a choice. I can either turn right up that way, which involves a bit more climbing, or I can say stuff that, downhill for a while, and go down this gravel path here. It's the gravel path. Oh, I think I'll have to stop and have a rest and a digest after all that. As you can perhaps hear on the microphone, it is quite windy up here. I have found what I think is a good spot to rest and digest. Pleasant temperature, mid-teens, quite windy up here. However, my conclusions on the fish and chips. That was excellent. It was as good as Ramsay's in Terminal 5 Heathrow. Also, it had the requisite mushy peas, tartar sauce, crispy chips. Perfect. It was, of course, a wee bit cheaper than the fish and chips at Ramsay's in Terminal 5. Have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised to find that I'm not too stuffed after that. I think I'll go for a little tour around before I go home. Beginning with one of my favourite descents around here. Which is looking extra nice in the sunny weather. So what did we learn from today's bike ride? Well, I think we learned that, astonishingly, it is possible to get top quality fish and chips in the middle of continental Europe, as far away from the sea as you can possibly get out in the boonies in the Odenwald. I think the second important point is that I couldn't have done that ride up to the restaurant without the Orbea Gain. I wouldn't even have attempted it on a regular bike. I'd have had to go by car, which wouldn't have been nearly as much fun. So, once again, the Orbea Gain delivers for me. And so, on that note, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and it's goodbye from me, and goodbye from her. Maybe see you next time. Guy walks into a library and says, "I'd like a portion of fish and chips, please." Librarian looks at him and says, "This is a library, sir." "Oh," he says, "I'm sorry. I'd like a portion of fish and chips, please."